answered also in written. So without further ado, Darius, the floor is yours.
Hi, so I'm Darius Vansevičius, representative of LTG Infra, one of the program managers in Lithuania. There are two sections. One is from Poland to Kaunas, including Kaunas. There is another program which is Kaunas to Latvia, which is represented by my other colleague, but he's not attending here today. If we can jump into the first slide. Yeah. So the situation in Lithuania right now is as currently presented on the screen. We have already signed construction contracts for 114 kilometers. So these are ongoing. They are at different stages. Some of them are slightly more mature. Some of them are relatively recently signed. As you can see in a photo on the right bottom part of the screen, we have already started constructing the railway, the superstructure, in 8.8 kilometers section. There is construction for Neris Bridge ongoing as well. As you can see in the photo on the left-hand side, the pylons are already being, well, constructed. They're there for quite some time now. We also have relatively recently signed design services contract from Poland to Kaunas. So that part of the Lithuania is currently being designed. There is, of course, already an existing RB railway in there, creating the connection to Kaunas for European trains and traffic. Talking about the overall kind of sum of contracts signed, so we so far have signed nearly 1.9 billions of contracts, and up to this day, we have already paid 440 million to our contractors, and the work is still ongoing, so quite still some work to do. Now, if we can jump into another slide. So overall scope of phase one in Lithuania is displayed on the screen. If we take a look at, let's say, main elements of this, so there are ultimately four key sections starting from Poland to Kaunas, then of course Kaunas itself, Kaunas to Panevėžys, which currently the construction is ongoing in that section, and of course Panevėžys to Latvian border is the one that is currently in design services procurement stage. Going from top to bottom, then again we have key passenger stations, so Joniškėlis, Panevėžys, Jonava, Palemonas, Kaunas, and Poland border station. So these are also part of the phase one implementation plans that has to happen before the phase one completion date. We have four railway connections. So this is the areas where the train departs from the main line and performs a certain operation. So Kaunas Airport is one of those connections, and then the other three are connections that are connecting the newly constructed main line with the existing RB1 track. There are three freight and terminal stations foreseen, so Panevėžys, Kaunas Intermodal, and Marijampolė. So Kaunas Intermodal is already ongoing construction, and Panevėžys and Marijampolė is still within the plans of phase one. The infrastructure maintenance depots in Panevėžys and Kaunas, they're also within phase one plans, and rolling stock depots are also foreseen. Within our overall scope of phase one, we also have a variable gauge system considered in Kaunas to accommodate the traffic to Vilnius. So ultimately creating a possibility to have a connection from Vilnius through Kaunas to Warsaw and the rest of Western Europe. If we can jump into the next slide. So altogether, if we're looking at phase 1 scope, approximately 43% of main line is currently under construction. The other ones are in earlier stages, either design or procurement. The construction works that are ongoing are expected to be completed by 2028 or 27, depending on the contract. And of course, similarly, like with colleagues in Latvia and Estonia, financing is always one of the unanswered questions. We hope to get the financing, to get it on time, and as a result, we would be able to stick with the schedule that we have in mind for implementation of phase 1 of Rail Baltica. Now, the next slide, if you may. So far, basically, for year 2026, we estimate that we will introduce 300 million euros of cash flow into the market, which is twice as much, well, not twice as much, 50% more than it was in 2025. And of course, we can see still the growth foreseen for year 2027, where expenditure and then cash flow going into the market will further increase. The next slide will, I believe, indicate ongoing tenders that we currently have. So we have technical supervision and expertise services that are being procured. There are also several future tenders. If you can jump into the next slides. So those will be, again, for either expertise services or research and testing. Well, it's sort of a continuation of what I explained. Previously we have the construction contracts relatively signed pretty much in those 114 kilometers. So construction is ongoing there. Nothing new to construct in the short term. The design is ongoing. Of course, once those designs are mature enough, we will go into the construction of the new sections later on. But of course, not in the short term. And the short term, the continuation of other future tenders is again testing and research, and there are some smaller construction works foreseen for construction of superstructure. I think that's pretty much it. I believe there will be probably a few questions. So
yes, Darius, we do have. Thank you so much for your slides. First question. Who is the winner of the tender design and design supervision Panevėžys Latvian-Lithuanian border?
So at the moment, I believe this is not the place and time to announce the winner. That will be done through public procurement format.
All right. LTGI designing one infra section of Rail Baltica in Lithuania by themselves. Where is published scope and deadlines that LTGI is designing? I hope you get the question.
Yeah. It's about our newly established design department. So this decision came earlier last year, and from this year, our design department is growing, and we intend to have it. The decision was made as such because, well, there are, of course, some sections are relatively easy in greenfield projects. Some sections are a bit more difficult and complex, and it happens to be that, well, Kaunas node is our main location for railway traffic connecting from all the directions. We have the existing railway infrastructure there. We have new Rail Baltica infrastructure that will go parallel to existing infrastructure, and it's really complex interconnection of the railway networks to railway networks. We made the decision that it's better for us to design that using our own internal resources, to have people basically align with the infrastructure management teams that look after existing railway and, of course, Rail Baltica project, looking about the future strategy. So the department is there. It's started its work. It is, of course, releasing several tenders into the public for, again, investigation and basically research sort of like services. But overall goal in terms of the timeline, well, we have phase one in mind, and we intend to finish it on time. So it aligns with the phase one scope to get it constructed.
Thank you, Darius. I believe there are two questions where we could also ask other colleagues from implementing bodies to maybe if they have anything to add to answer. So one of those questions, bear with me, is other than risks such as time constraint, coordination, and financing, which other risks mitigation methods are anticipated for successful project completion?
I think that's sort of like a question probably for more for a panel than the particular implementing body representative. But look, the main thing for us, I believe, is financing, and we occasionally repeat that. The other factors such as the market that every now and then throws us a wild card. Right now with a previously, some years ago, we had pandemic. Now we had some wars, starting all around the world. So a lot of things, all external factors like that, kind of interface with our decision making. We maybe sometimes schedule a certain budget. We get that budget, and then world event happens, and then we have to react to that. And when a project and a mega project like this costs a lot of money, then a lot of certain decisions have to follow before we can, concretely say what the next strategy is. So global events are occasionally interfering heavily, and well, unfortunately, we can't predict what those events will be.
All right, thank you, Darius. Thank you very much. We are continuing with the questions answer session. So before we close the seminar, so I'm going to read out several of the questions that are remaining in the chat. Please, if you have any further questions, use the QR code. As said before, we still have time, but I will start with what I see in the chat. So first two questions for Eva from the procurement team, RB Rail. So Eva, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Very good. So first question, how to register a business operator in the procurement portal?
So if the procurement portal is meant this Latvian procurement system that I mentioned, we have a step-by-step guide in our webpage. So I think it would be more practical for you to maybe look at the webpage, start doing the process, and if any specific questions, reach out. So pretty much there are some files you must fill in and send to this state agency that operates the system. But as I said, we have the step-by-step guide. I think it's very useful. Start there, and if any questions, then reach out to us.
And the second feels quite straightforward, but I will still ask it. Could the mini competitions be rejected if the framework's due to the lack of available resources?
So I believe it's meant rejected by the specific supplier in the framework agreement. There's not one straightforward answer to this. It is probably according to the specific framework agreement and rules in there, because it might be different from framework to framework. I don't really know which specific are we talking about.
All right, then whoever asked the question then can maybe specify a bit more, and we'll take it further. Then we have a question, and I think I might address it to Jean-Marc. I hope, Jean-Marc, you're here. Are you planning procurements for lifting equipment, gantry, overhead, or other cranes for infrastructure maintenance depots in Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia? It might be as well a question to implementing bodies, so whoever can answer, please support.
Yes, indeed, the depot are mainly under implementing bodies. So this is more to implementing body to answer. I believe that notably in Estonia, there should be some opportunities and soon.
Maybe
All
I'll
right.
quickly step in, like at least from Lithuanian side. We, as you know, implementing body, we do not construct infrastructure ourselves. We typically hire the contractor to do it. So lifting equipment, of course, would be subjected to the contractor subconsultants that they chooses to hire. So in our case, like if we procure a contractor, the crane operators or lifting equipment operators that have some spare equipment, they can outreach to the general contractors in the market.
Thank you, Darius. Are there any specific tenders upcoming for software to deliver network planning and basic timetabling options? Jean-Marc, I believe this is a question to you.
Yes, actually, we had the tender some years ago, and we already have one software for that because to design infrastructure, we needed to prepare the operational aspect, all the timetabling with long-term vision. So we have now RISIS software. So yeah, that's the one we use, and we will continue to use in coming years, I believe, until the completion of the line. Yeah, so no procurement plan for that item.
Okay. Underground cable channels and chambers are typically specified as concrete. How can alternative materials be introduced within Rail Baltica project?
Okay, that's actually most of these elements has been already procured as part of consolidated procurement materials. So there are some typically some component like multi-duct for optical fiber. I think there are HDPE. There are also all the cable for the crossings under the railways, HDPE. Over in concrete, like of course the manholes. So all this has been already subject to procurement and the contracts are in place. What will remain will be let's say, the surface element that are the concrete channels and the associated manholes that they will be delivered also by mostly the control command signaling lot or in some civil lot, depending of some of the sections. For material, as we say, we have investigated as well already these aspects. So I think now we, for example, incorporated in this element some part of recycled material, whether it is for plastic component or for concrete, and that in order to also have a better sustainability index. Yeah, so that was also already considered.
All right, thank you so much. There's another question, maybe a bit more high-level question. Jean-Marc, are you still there?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. So has the governance structure for international high-speed operations been defined, own operational scope, joint venture, or main governing body? Very high-level question.
Yeah, that's actually a question of commercialization of the line. And what we can say that indeed for the high-speed operation, this will be cross-border, so on 3 and even 4 countries, because of course, the high-speed train will go to Poland, to Warsaw. So that's just in the, let's say, beginning definition. This is responsibility of the public transport authority of every state to organize this commercialization. And there are, as you know, 2 models possible, whether it is open access. So in that case, any highway undertakings can apply to operate the line in Baltic state at its own risk, or it will be in public service obligation. So in that case, in subsidized manner, there will be a competition for such operation. Yeah. So this is under definition, and in coming years there will be, of course, a decision taken and announcement regarding this topic.
All right, thank you. And there's another question that was just sent in a second ago. I hope you can answer. Passenger terminal electrical installations. How are cable standards defined, and are local standards and cable types preferred?
So in general, we are defining everything on the base of a European standard. Yeah, that's really so there are. We don't have exception. I think specifically for such a cable, I think this is there is no national standard to be used. So I think that's typical EN standard cables, and of course the ones resistant to the fire and so on, as it shall be. But no local standard is required, I would say.
Okay, thank you so much. We were just checking that at the moment there are no other questions remaining to be answered. So we are concluding the seminar earlier than anticipated, so which means that we have been very efficient. So thank you for that. Thank you once again to all the speakers and the experts for your time, and thank you all who listened in. The QR code for the questions, it still will remain open for some hours, so feel free to drop those questions. We will make sure the answers follow, and those materials that you saw today will be distributed back to you.